Hey Web3 family, in today's video, we're going to be learning about one of the most popular types of NFT mints currently happening in the NFT ecosystem. They're called Degen Mints. And in today's video, we are going to be learning exactly what is a Degen Mint, what are the pros and the cons of a Degen Mint, why you should consider Degen Mints as an NFT project founder. And finally, most importantly, we're going to be breaking down the step-by-step marketing framework that you're going to be following to launch a successful Degen Mints. And of course, the best part is we're going to be looking at different case studies so you have live examples of what a successful Degen Mint marketing looks like. Really, Degen Mints have gained a lot of popularity over the summer and are still hot up until now for multiple reasons, but a big part of them is from a trader's perspective, so an NFT buyer's perspective. Degen Mints are low risk, high reward. They're fun, they're exciting, they also require some level of skill set. Really, Degen Mints are very fast moving and it keeps the traders excited. And this opens up a really big opportunity for us as project founders and marketers, which is really creating quality projects that bring value to the ecosystem and bring value to the people that are out there trading and selling NFTs. And it's no wonder that a big percentage of the project founders that I talk to on a daily basis, they happen to be working on Degen Mints. So what are Degen Mints? And what are the pros and cons of Degen Mints as a project founder yourself? So Degen Mints are anything that falls under 0.1 Solana and under mint price. And anything above 0.1 Solana, you leave Degen territory and you become actual mint territory. So 0.1 Solana, currently Solana is sitting at $34, so it is $3 per mint. And 0.1 is on the upper end of Degen Mints. Typically, what I see out there and what has been working is mints between 0.03 and 0.07. That is a perfect range, so between $1 to $2. And really, what are the pros as a project founder launching a Degen Mint is that they are low risk in the sense that the amount of investment you put into Degen Mints is a lot less. You do not spend $5,000 to $10,000 on marketing when launching a Degen Mint like you would launching traditional collections. And they also have a very quick timeline. As we're going to see, Degen Mints, you turn on the marketing machine, you mint after a couple of days and that's it, that's over with the marketing, and then you focus on actually building community. The cons, obviously, of Degen Mints, it is that it is a small market cap. So let's say you are charging $1 per NFT and you have a collection size of 5,000. So if you sell out, that's $5,000, which obviously isn't the numbers that we are used to seeing out there with project mints that are selling at $500,000, $1 million. No, it's definitely not, but it does open up the opportunity of building a strong project on secondary. So we've seen a lot of Degen Mints that were, let's say, a free mint at 3K supply, really continue building after the mint, and all of a sudden, these are some of the top OG projects in the entire NFT space right now. And the final con of Degen Mints is really that they have a weak community. So when people buy a $1 NFT and the whole marketing campaign of the NFT project was weak, people do not have the same affinity towards your project, the same loyalty as they would for an NFT that they pay $50, $100 for. So definitely the community is weaker, it's also smaller, and people really tend to ape into your Degen Mints because they want to flip it and not really because your project brings a lot of value, which is something we are going to be talking about right now. So this is an interesting point. If you are an NFT project founder, you're looking to get your hands dirty in the NFT space, but you're unsure where to start. You might not have marketing experience either in Web 2 or Web 3, and you might not have a big budget. My recommendation a lot of times to project founders is that it could be a good way to start with a Degen Mint. Learn there, get your hands dirty, understand how Discord works, understand how Twitter works, understand how NFT minting processes work. Because again, the goal for you right now is to learn as quickly as possible without taking a lot of risk. And the beautiful thing about Degen Mints is that most people that buy into Degen Mints is because of the community aspect of things. So people do not have expectations when they're buying a $1 NFT that you're going to come in with a roadmap that is revolutionary, that is going to build the future of Web3. No. People buy because they like the community, they like the art, they like what your project stands for. So if you're able to have that beautiful chemistry of elements and really build a strong community, you don't need to change the world with your Degen Mint. but what you should do is continue building on your community. So we've seen projects out there spend about $2,000 on marketing and end up making $7,000 on their mint. But then on secondary, we saw them continue building. And then these projects ended up making another $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 on secondary volume alone. Before we talk about the two different types of Degen Mints and which one you should choose, it is worth noting that Degen Mints are most popular on the Solana ecosystem. And there's two reasons for that. The first one is that Solana's low gas fees really allows people to transact in those low market cap NFTs. So the type of behaviors that NFT traders have when they buy Degen Mints is that they would buy like 50 NFTs at like $1 and then sell them at when they hit a floor price of $2. So therefore doubling their investment. And you can only have that type of behavior, someone buying 50 NFTs at $1 on a chain where you're paying $0.001 per transaction. On Ethereum, forget it, that would be impossible basically. And because of those low gas fees, the type of buyer persona that exists on Solana is really the trader type of buyer persona. So the people that are in this space to make money, that are buying and reselling NFTs. This is the type of persona we see mostly on Solana versus on Ethereum. We have a bigger majority of people that fall under the collector type of category. So on Solana, a big majority of people are traders, and on Ethereum, a big majority of people are collectors. And that's why it is important for you as an NFT project founder to understand the buyer persona you're going after and what chain you want to go for. So as we were talking, there are two types of Degen Mints. The first one is a free mint. The second one is a paid mint between 0.01 to 0.1 Solana. Now here's the way projects make money on free mints. You might think that they make money on the secondary royalties, but the reality is not like that. In reality, what projects do, let's say you have a collection size of 3,000 NFTs. What projects do during free mints is that they would mint themselves about 500 to 1,000 NFTs, really control 20 to 40% of the supply, and then start dumping their NFTs as the floor price starts going up. And we've seen a lot of Degen Mints out there really pull this off. And although this strategy works, it is not the most profitable. And the second reason I don't like this strategy is the mindset that you're in when you go for the free mint strategy is that you're just trying to dump the floor and you're always creating that sell pressure on the project. Versus paid mints, where even if you were to charge $1.5 at a collection size of 3K, all of a sudden we're talking $5,000. So you're going to end up making more money going with the paid mint marketing than you would with the free mint. Now I've seen something out there, a hybrid that has been working lately, and this is a trade secret that I'm going to be giving you. Something that has been working very well is a hybrid of a free mint with a paid mint, where, for example, let's say you have a supply size of 4,000. The first 3,000 NFTs are free and the last 1,000 are paid. And what happens is when people see a free mint that moved this quickly and basically sold out the free mint section so quickly, they're going to FOMO in and buy that NFT for $1. So let's talk a little bit about the marketing sellout formula for Degen Mints. If you've been watching some of my videos, you are probably aware of the traditional project sellout formula. It is a 5-stage NFT marketing framework that most NFT projects right now are following to launch their collection, and it typically takes between 6 to 8 weeks. It is made up of 5 phases, as you can read here: the Twitter marketing, Twitter engagement farming, Discord release, quantum growth, maturing, and mint. And this is typically what the traditional formula looks like in terms of timeline. So we have 1 week for Twitter engagement, then we have 2-3 days after Discord release, then we move into quantum growth for 3 weeks, and it's during quantum growth where we really see projects go from 3K followers on Twitter all the way to like 30K. And then on Discord, we go from 5K to 50K. And for phase 4, the maturing phase, which is when we see a lot of trust building types of initiatives happening. And in the case of Degen Mint, so the Degen Mint formula is only a 3-step process where you do not go through quantum growth and maturing at all. So all you do is that you stop at the Discord release, and a couple of days after Discord release, you hop into the mint. And the reason why Degen Mints are just cheaper to deploy is because the majority of marketing budget is deployed during the quantum phase. Here, the quantum growth, and the majority of labor cost happens during the maturing phase of the project. So in the case of Degen Mints, this is literally what the timeline looks like. It is made up of a 3-phase timeline with only 1 week of marketing. So from day 1 all the way to day 7, your project is live. It's minting and hopefully it has sold out. So we have 3 days of Twitter engagement farming, then we have 3 days of Discord release, and then we have the mint. So what we're going to be doing for the rest of this video is we're going to be looking at each one of those stages right here. So the Twitter engagement farming, how do you do it correctly? The Discord release, how do you do it correctly? What does it look like? And finally the mint, what does it look like and how do you do it correctly? Now before we go on Twitter and look at our case studies, I first want to share with you the Degen Mint checklist. And those are the things you need to have in order for you to successfully launch and mint out a Degen Mint. So the first thing is that you need solid art. So in the case of a Degen Mint, people are not buying into your project because you have a revolutionary roadmap that's going to change the world. You can't change the world with $5,000. So what people buy into is beautiful art. And art is incredibly important when it comes to Degen Mint. And I'm going to be showing you the types of art that perform the best in the Degen category. Now, once we have beautiful art ready, this is where we can move to the next step, which is having a successful Twitter engagement farming window. And this is crucially important because without successfully doing that, we will not be able to open Discord, fill it up with a couple hundred people, and then move to the next stage, which is deploying a successful collab campaign. Really, this stage right here is the stage where you are going to get people that are actually going to buy into your project. This stage right here is mainly to create social proof into your project. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you 3 examples of Degen Mints. And the first thing we're going to be looking at is really the art. So what is the type of art that works for Degen Mints? And the first type of art that is meta in the space is really Gothic type of art. So Gothic Degens is the perfect example. You can see they have art that looks beautiful. And it has this, pretty dark Gothic style to it. And you can see people just loved it. And this is another great example of Degen Mints that ended up doing incredibly well when the founders continued building on the project. So the floor price is 6.3 Solana, and they've had a total traded volume of 84,000 Solana. Number 1, Degen art. The second type of art that works very well is really pixel art. So this is Solizards. They didn't end up doing as well on secondary, so I wouldn't take them as a reference. But I do remember when they were launching, I got pinged on my phone, on my WhatsApp by a bunch of people that are NFT traders telling me that this is going to be a hot mint. And part of the reason people loved it is that it's a pixelized GIF. So another example of a very successful pixel art is GhostKidDAO. As you can see, obviously it is pixel art and they've done incredibly well for themselves. 8 Solana floor at 100,000 Solana traded volume. And those were all Degen Mints that started at like $1 cost per mint. So really, those are the 2 popular types of art. Number 1, pixel art. Number 2, Gothic/dark type of art. So let's look at this project, SoDead. SoDead is probably one of the most successful Degen Mints that I've ever seen in the entire ecosystem. They've been crushing it. And SoDead, they have a collection size of 4.2 thousand NFTs, and they were a Degen Mint at 0.069. So 0.069 all the way to 32 Solana floor price. And if you were to look at the exact Twitter formula that they've used, so if we were to scroll all the way down to the very first tweet, we're going to see that they have been following the exact Twitter engagement farming strategy. So this is what the Twitter engagement farming framework looks like. Attention grabbing headline, call to action. So in this case, if you're seeing this, you're early. First 666 SoDead to interact with this tweet and join the Discord will be blessed with OG. And then if we were to go on the retweets, we're going to be seeing who are those influencers that they've worked with. And of course, keep in mind, retweets are in chronological order, and we can very quickly see that the first influencer that retweeted this was a co-founder, so might have had some affiliation with the project. Then if we continue scrolling up, we're going to see Mikey.Sol. He's a pretty popular influencer in the NFT space. And then we continue scrolling up. We have NFT Odette with 141,000 followers. And we have Crypto Anglio, another very popular NFT influencer on Solana, 140,000 followers. So this was the first tweet. Let's go to the second tweet. And there you go, you can see how fast the Degen Mints move. Literally on their second tweet, they've announced the supply size as well as the mint price. And so 4,200 SoDeads at 0.069 Solana are coming to Solana. First 500 to interact will be considered for OG whitelist. And really over the next couple of days, they've continued really trying to get that engagement. And finally, boom, literally 4 days after starting their marketing, they've launched Mint is Life. If we were to go to launch my NFT, we can see 0.069 at 4,200, and people could mint an unlimited amount of NFTs. So just right there, SoDead ended up making 0.069 times 4,200. So 289 Solana plus, let's see what they did on royalty. So royalty, 89.5 thousand. So 89,500,000 times 10%, because they had a 10% royalty. So 0.1. Boom, this times the price of Solana, 34. So they ended up making $314,000 on their mint. And they only did 4 days of NFT marketing. So let's look at our second project, Solizards. If we were to scroll all the way down to the very first tweet, again, following the same formula, any interaction with this tweet will be considered as whitelist, and we can see they were engagement farming. So day 1, day 2, Day 3, Discord opening in 24 hours. So 3 days of Twitter engagement farming, Discord opens. After that, 3 days of community growth, and boom, we mint. So right here, they ended up minting at 0.069 at 3333. And back then, Solana was at a better price than it was now. So 3333 times 0.069. And Solana was about $40 back then. So they made about $10,000 on the project mint in only 5 or 6 days of marketing. So beautiful, we have the art settled. Then we've done a successful Twitter engagement farming phase. Now, what happens next? So we are here, we've accomplished this, and then we've accomplished the Discord release. What happens here during the last 3 days? And this is really the make or break of your project. And this is what differentiates Degen Mints that end up selling out in 2 minutes and Degen Mints that don't end up getting traction. And it is the phase between Discord release and the mint. And really during this phase, and it is a collab game that is going to be deployed. So as we've seen earlier during this video, people love Degen Mints. There's a big community of people out there in the Solana space that are buying Degen Mints, and they want to get access to those mints on whitelist because they know that if they were to be able to buy an NFT for 0.069, they could end up selling it for 1 Solana, 2 Solana, or 32 Solana like we saw in the case of SoDead. So people understand that. So that's why we have a very rich community of people that want to get access early to Degen Mints. And the best way to reach out to those communities is through other DAOs. So there are communities out there, alpha groups, other communities really dedicated towards finding the next, gem, getting the next mint, really doing alpha calls for the current projects that are minting. And a big part of your job as an NFT project founder will be to successfully pull off collaborations with other projects. And if you do not have contacts in the NFT space, I would recommend you to hire a collab manager. You can easily find many on Twitter. If you want referrals of people I've worked with in this space, hit me up on Twitter at HeyThisIsLeon, and I'll gladly connect you with them. So really, collab managers is the centerpiece of the success of a project. As you're going to see, you have your project right here. And the good job of the collab manager is to reach out to all the different DAOs and communities and give them whitelists for your project. And typically for a Degen Mint, you want to do at least 30 to 40 collabs with other projects, with other DAOs. And those people are going to come in, they already know the drill. They already know what to expect. All you need to do is show them the signals that this is going to be a successful mint. And those signals, as we saw here, are the following: solid art, successful Twitter engagement farming, and successful collab campaigns. If you can pull those 3 off, you will be able to pull off a smooth mint. So really don't sleep on getting a good collab manager. It could mean the life or death of your Degen Mint. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at the #1 platform that is popular for Degen Mints out there. And this platform is called Launch My NFT. So there's a couple reasons why Launch My NFT is the choice of option for Degen Mints. #1, people are used to it. All Degen traders out there have interacted with Launch My NFT. I can guarantee you that. #2, they have very cheap and reliable services. So you will not pay a fortune. For example, if you were to go mint on Magiceden's Launchpad, Magiceden takes a fixed 10% of your mint and 10% of your secondary. That's a lot of money that they're taking. Launch My NFT does not have the same thing. They have very low rates. And the number three, they are very reliable. Their technology works. With the many projects we've worked with, we've never had a problem with the performance of Launchpad NFT when the mint comes. So it will never bug, it will never crash. There are other third-party platforms, but I would not recommend you going with them because number one, they do not have the trust of the community like Launchpad NFT does. And number two, you do not know the performance of the actual mint page the day of the mint. And this is talking from experience, honestly. One of our clients was launching on a third-party platform and the mint page ended up crashing when mint was live. So stick with Launchpad NFT. This is what I would recommend you. So really, ladies and gentlemen, to recap this video, what we've looked at is what is a Degen Mint? Why are they popular? What are the pros and cons of the Degen Mints? Why should you consider Degen Mints as an NFT project founder, really? And finally, what is the exact step-by-step marketing